I swear to you, there was someone breathing under my bed. I live alone. I'm 25, and I rent a one-bedroom apartment just outside of town. Nothing fancy, just a small place with creaky floors, bad lighting, and a weird draft that always comes through the back window, even when it's closed. This happened last winter, when it was snowing heavily and the power went out across half the city. It was cold, dead silent, and pitch black. I lit a few candles and went to bed early. Around 4 a.m., I woke up suddenly. No sound, no reason. Just that feeling, you know the one, like your body knows something is wrong before your brain does. I sat up slowly. My room was completely dark, except for the flicker of a dying candle near the window. And then I heard it. Breathing. Not mine. Not coming from outside. It was under my bed. At first, I thought maybe I left the heater on low and it was making that hissing noise again. So I leaned over the edge of the bed to check. But the heater was off and the breathing was getting louder, like shallow, shaky inhaling and exhaling, as if whoever it was had been hiding there for a long time and was starting to panic. I froze. My heart was beating so loud, I felt it in my ears. I didn't move. I didn't even blink. I kept listening, and then I heard something else. A voice, a whisper. It said,
"Please don't look."
I swear to God. I jumped off the bed and ran straight out of the apartment, barefoot in the snow. I didn't even grab my phone. I just ran to my neighbor's house, banging on their door like a maniac. He opened up half asleep and confused. I was shaking and crying, trying to explain what I'd heard. When the police arrived 20 minutes later, they searched my apartment. There was nothing there. No one under the bed. No signs of forced entry. Nothing missing, except the candle near the window. It was blown out, and there was a handprint on the floor, right next to my bed. A woman's handprint, but the fingers were way too long. And that's when I realized something that made my blood run cold. I always closed my bedroom door before sleeping, always. But when I came back with the police, it was wide open.
I got back home to Louisiana the next afternoon, tired and still shaken from the night before. I didn't tell anyone about what happened. Not right away. I couldn't even explain it to myself. Was it sleep paralysis, leftover alcohol in my system, a hallucination? But here's the thing. When I got home, I noticed something weird. It was a scratch on my neck, just below my ear. Thin, red, like a fingernail had grazed me. Not deep enough to bleed, but fresh. I stared at it in the bathroom mirror, my hand frozen mid-air. I hadn't scratched myself. I would have remembered. And besides, I didn't feel anything when I woke up. Then came the dreams. For the next 3 nights, I kept waking up around 3:17 a.m. Not 3:00, not 3:30, always exactly 3 And every time I woke up with this sharp, bone-deep feeling, like someone had been staring at me while I slept. No noise, no figures, nothing. Just this sense. You know the one. When your instincts scream that you're not alone. Then, on the 4th night, I heard something. A knock, soft, deliberate, coming from inside the house. I live alone, so you can imagine the way my chest tightened. I got out of bed, grabbed a flashlight, and crept down the hallway. The knock came again. Knock, knock, knock. I followed it to the guest room, and when I opened the door, I swear to you, I felt like I was back in Tom's spare room. The air was dead still, heavy, like no one had breathed in there for years. And in the far corner of the room, even though it was completely dark, I could feel it. Something was standing there. I turned on the flashlight and shined it into the corner. Nothing. I backed out slowly and closed the door. I slept on the couch that night, if you can call it sleep. The next morning, I finally called Tom. I told him everything, the dreams, the scratch, the knocking, and he went silent on the phone. Then he said, "Dude, this is going to sound insane, but you're not the first person who stayed in that room and seen something." I sat down. "What?" Tom sighed. "That room used to be my uncle's. He moved out like 10 years ago, but before that, he was acting really weird. He'd keep the door locked all the time. Said someone came to him in the middle of the night, talked to him, stood in the closet." My stomach dropped. Tom continued. "Eventually he just left. Didn't take anything. He just packed one bag and drove off. We haven't heard from him since." I asked him why he never told me that before I stayed over. He said, "Honestly, I thought it was just family drama, ghost stories, that kind of thing. You were drunk and needed a place to crash. I didn't think..." I cut him off. "Has anyone else stayed in there?" He paused. "One, my cousin Lisa. Back in 2020. She said she saw someone in the corner too. Said it looked like a shadow wearing a coat." My throat tightened. "What happened to her?" "She refuses to come back to the house." I couldn't sleep after that, and I knew I wasn't safe. Whatever was in that room, I think it followed me. That night, I boarded up the door to my guest room. Literally nailed it shut. I didn't care how stupid it looked. I even sprinkled salt across the threshold. I had no idea if that would help. I'd seen it in movies, but I was desperate. At 3:17 a.m., I woke up again. Except this time, I wasn't in my bed. I was standing at the edge of the hallway, facing the door to the guest room, the boarded up door. I didn't remember getting up. I didn't remember walking, and my feet were bare, ice cold, like I had been standing there a while. I backed away slowly, got back in bed, but the whole night, I didn't blink once. The next morning, I checked my phone. There were 3 photos in my gallery that I hadn't taken. All were pitch black, like someone had taken pictures in a dark room. Except the third one had something in it, a vague shape, just barely visible in the corner. Human height, broad shoulders, a silhouette. I deleted them. Then I powered off my phone and didn't touch it for the rest of the day. I started researching. I dug into everything I could find about hauntings, sleepwalking, dream entities, even coat-wearing spirits. I didn't care how stupid I sounded. I wasn't trying to go viral or write a horror novel. I just wanted this thing to leave me alone. But that's when I found something weird. There's an old legend from certain parts of Texas. Locals call it the Watcher of the Spare Room. Apparently, in older homes, there were stories of guests seeing a coat-like figure standing in the corner of rarely used rooms. It would appear after someone fell asleep, motionless, just watching. Sometimes it would vanish by morning. Sometimes the guest would leave with no memory of the night. And sometimes they never left. I kept digging, but most of the stories ended in dead ends. There was no clear answer, no way to get rid of it, no reason why it appeared in the first place. Then something even worse happened. Tom called me again. He sounded different. His voice was flat, slower than usual. He asked if I was okay, but something about the way he said it felt off, like it wasn't really a question. He said, "You should come back." I paused. Come back? Yeah, just for a night. I've been thinking, maybe we can figure this out together. I didn't respond right away. Then I asked, Tom, did you see it? He was silent for a long time. Then I left the guest room open last night. My mouth went dry. Why? I don't know, I just wanted to see. I whispered, and? Tom said something I'll never forget. He said, I don't think it ever left. Then the call dropped. I tried calling back. Nothing. I texted. No reply. I haven't heard from him since. It's been 3 days. I haven't left my house. The boarded-up guest room is still sealed. But every night, I wake up standing in the hallway again, always at 3:17 a.m. And now, there's a new problem. Last night, when I woke up standing by the guest room door, I wasn't alone. There was knocking, but not from inside the room. It was coming from inside the walls, like something was trapped, or worse, like something was already inside my house. I don't know how this ends. I don't know if Tom's okay. I don't know what this thing wants. But one thing is clear now. It's not just watching me sleep anymore. It's waiting. And every night, it gets a little closer. Recap. After staying in a spare room at my friend Tom's house, I saw something terrifying. A shadowy coat-like figure watching me. Ever since, strange things have followed me home. I've had nightmares, scratches, sleepwalking episodes, and photos appear on my phone that I didn't take. Tom recently called, acting strange. Then he vanished. That night, after the call dropped, I didn't sleep at all. I sat on my couch staring at the hallway. The boarded-up guest room was at the far end, silent and still. But I knew it was in there. It always was. At 3:17 a.m., my phone buzzed. A text from Tom. It said, I opened the door. That's it. Just those 4 words. I called him. No answer. I texted back. Are you okay? Nothing. Then, exactly 1 minute later, another message. It's not stuck anymore. That chilled me to the bone. I didn't know what it meant, but I had a horrible feeling that whatever was in that room, whatever had followed me home, it was never supposed to be let out. And now it was. I didn't go back to sleep that night. In the morning, I packed a bag, left my house, and drove. I didn't tell anyone where I was going, but I think you already know. I drove back to Tom's. When I got there, his car was in the driveway, but the house was dead silent. I knocked. Nothing. The door was unlocked. Inside, everything looked normal, except for one thing. The spare room door was open, wide open, and on the wall across from it, someone had scratched something into the paint, thin and jagged, 4 letters. Help. I called out for Tom. No answer. I searched the house, bathroom, kitchen, bedrooms. No Tom. But I did find his phone. It was sitting on the edge of the sink, screen cracked, battery at 3%. There were 3 voice memos saved. They were all dated last night. I played the first one. It was just static. For about 10 seconds, then a faint whisper. Don't let it see your face. Then silence. I played the second one. It was Tom's voice, panicked, shaky, breathing hard. I messed up. I opened the door again. It's different now. It smiled at me. I didn't know it could do that. Oh God. It followed me into the hallway. It stood there while I tried to sleep, just standing, not moving. But the closet door, it was wide open, and I didn't open it. Then the recording cut out. I played the third, just breathing, Heavy, fast, like running. Then Tom's voice again, whispering, "I think it came back for you." That was the last recording. I left the house, got in my car and drove, fast. But halfway down the road, I saw something that made me slam the brakes. On the shoulder, just past a bend, was a trench coat, just lying there in the dirt, neatly folded. I didn't stop. I kept driving until I hit the highway. Then I drove some more. I stayed at a motel 2 towns over. That night, I didn't sleep, again. But I didn't wake up at 3:17. I woke up at 4:01 a.m. because something was already in the room. I didn't see it at first, but I felt the air change. Heavy, cold. Then I saw the mirror in the motel room. It was fogged up, like someone had breathed on it, and written in the fog were the words, "Don't leave yet." It's been 2 weeks. Tom is still missing. I've spoken to his parents, the police. Nobody knows anything. I've gone back home, but I haven't used the guest room since. Sometimes I still wake up in the hallway, always standing in the same spot, always facing that door. I haven't unboarded it. I don't plan to. I've moved all my stuff into the living room. I sleep there now. But even then, even when the door is locked and sealed, at 3:17 a.m., I still hear it, knocking, sometimes on the walls, sometimes in the closet, and sometimes it sounds like it's coming from right behind me. I don't know if it's a spirit, or a curse, or some old thing that's always been here, waiting in empty rooms, feeding on people like Tom, people like me. But I do know this: once you see it, it doesn't forget you. You can leave the room, leave the house, leave the state, but you can't leave it, because it's not in the room anymore. It's in you.